What is up, fanatics, Fanguy addicts? Josh Fanguy here, back with you for the sixth installment of the Ultimate Fanguy. We're going to do something a little different on Thursdays. After thinking about it a little bit, I kind of want to do a quick hit version of what I'm going to do Friday. Fridays, as you know, is going to be our extensive look at every single pretty much matchup on Draftkings. So Thursdays, I think what I'm deciding to do is kind of give you a few highlights. I'm going to kind of hit my quick picks before Thursday's game. So just so you can at least get the highlights in case you don't have, a freaking hour to watch the in-depth special. We're going to try to keep this one way shorter and just kind of go through some key picks at each position that are my favorite values and maybe my favorite plays for the week. So just a very much abbreviated version of everything else. So we'll start at the quarterback position. As you can see, actually, I have one of my lineups up right now, and it is a Thursday through Monday lineup. So that'll give you a little insight to some of the plays I like, obviously, because this is an actual lineup I'm playing. But what we're going to do is, so we're going to look at quarterbacks first. So my favorite quarterbacks of the week overall, I think I like Lamar Jackson. I definitely like Matt Ryan. I think Kyler Murray has potential for a big day. And then my value of the week is going to be Kirk Cousins, actually. I think he had a pretty okay last week. I think he has a better week this week in a matchup against the Eagles that has a pretty stout run defense, but is pretty susceptible to the pass. So I definitely think, Kirk Cousins is going to find his way to quite a few of my lineups, which could end up torching me in the butt this week because he's Kirk Cousins and he's priced below Daniel Jones. As you can see, Daniel Jones, 5,200. Kirk Cousins also 5,200. Worth noting, Sam Darnold is back this week. I'm not playing him, but he is back this week, and I think he could maybe be a sneaky play against a crappy, Dallas isn't bad, but Darnold does make a difference in that offense. Gardner Minshew against New Orleans is also worth playing. As you'll see in a second, one of my favorite receivers is from Jacksonville this week. So, most of my lineups are going to be between Lamar Jackson, Matt Ryan, Thielen, probably as your super value pick, and Minshew as your super value pick if you're going low. So those are my favorite quarterback matchups for the week. Moving on. Actually, just to give you a little insight, because I don't want to just completely leave you high and dry without any insight. Lamar Jackson, somebody on Baltimore is going to feast this week. I do, as you can see in this lineup I have right here, Mark Ingram is right there. So, I'm high on Ingram this week, which I'll get to in a second with my running backs. I just don't know, I don't know if it's going to be Lamar Jackson, Marquise Brown, or if it's going to be just we're beating the crap out of the Bengals, so we're going to run all day. Either way, I think Lamar Jackson has a lot of upside. Matt Ryan's playing against the atrocious Arizona defense. So I think he's a slam dunk play at quarterback this week, and he'll probably be my quarterback on most of my lineups. But if you're looking for value, like I said, I think Cousins, they're going to have to throw against Philly at home. Philly's got a pretty stout run D, so I don't think Dalvin Cook's going to be able to shoulder the load in this one. So I'm high. Worth noting, Adam Thielen is sick as of today, but we don't know what kind of sickness it is. If Thielen can't go, obviously I think it upticks Stephon Diggs, even though there's a lot of drama with him. And then it may affect your, if Thielen can't play it, I do think it's going to affect Kirk Cousins' value a little bit. So, keep that in mind. Running backs. Okay, so as I was just talking about Mark Ingram, look, Baltimore's going to beat Cincy at home. They're probably going to have a lead, and they're probably just going to pound the ball all day. If that's what they do, Mark Ingram should have a good day. I still worry about his snap count. It is very low for a starting running back. He only plays about half their snaps, which keeps his legs fresher, I guess, but it also really impacts his volume. So I do like Ingram this week against Cincy because they're just that bad, but I am sketchy about him, and he's not going to be in all my lineups. I'm going to rotate him out on some of my lineups to get Lamar Jackson in there just in case it's a little more pass-heavy day, and Lamar Jackson do it with his legs. As you can see, I'll just highlight another guy I'm starting, Kerryon Johnson against Green Bay. Green Bay has just been run on lately. Like, everybody's getting their run on against him. Kerryon is definitely the most talented and he's trending towards being the workhorse back in Detroit. This is a game that I do worry about Detroit trailing in. so they might be throwing a little bit. Worth noting, Carry-On is involved in the pass game now, and I do think he's gonna, he has as good a chance as anybody to have a decent week for his price. Again, he's only 5,400, so I think he's one of the best values of the week. And in DraftKings, if you're playing some expensive players, you have to you have to skimp somewhere. As you can see on this particular lineup, I have set the most expensive player is my flex, which is Godwin at 6,700. And realistically, the reason he's in there, the Godwin, is just because that's how much budget I had left. That's the one thing that might change about this lineup. Anyway, back to running backs. So all your top tier running backs. I mean, McCaffrey's 8,600. If you're below an 8,600 on one player, especially a player playing against the third ranked rush defense in the league right now, you are taking a huge chance with your salary, and you're really going to have to dig deep for values. McCaffrey's been an absolute stallion this year, but I cannot help, and I said this last week and I was wrong, but I stand by it. I cannot think that defensive coordinators are not going to start keying on this guy. He's all the Panthers have. If I'm a defensive coordinator, NFL, hire me, because I'm smarter than most of the defensive coordinators who played the Panthers so far. You just key two guys in on McCaffrey, and their entire offense is going to be virtually shut down. So double McCaffrey, however you have to do it, and everything else is going to fall into place. I cannot see him holding up this pace. I'm no way going to spend 8,600. He's not going to be on any of my lineups, and it could burn me again because he has a habit of putting up 30 and 40 points. And, another couple of weeks of defensive coordinators not getting it together, I might start jumping on the McCaffrey train. He's an immensely talented running back. I had him in several fantasy leagues last year. I had him as my number one pick off the board this year, even ahead of Saquon. So, and that's documented. So, I mean, I believe in McCaffrey. I think he's great, but it's really surprising me that defenses aren't playing better against the only weapon on that team. So I think his stock is only a matter of time before it starts going down. I don't think it's going to rock bottom out or anything like that. But I definitely think he takes a significant step back in terms of the huge production he's been putting up lately. I got way too involved in that. I'm trying to keep this video short. The top option running back I like this week is Alvin Kamara, who still is too high at 8,000, and he just had an ankle injury today, so that's a little eek. David Johnson's probably not playing, so I think I got to remember that. When that report comes out, if he's out, Chase Edmonds is going to be a slam dunk. Chase Edmonds is sitting at, wow. I had to pass him out. Yeah, he's sitting at 4,600. He's going to be the best value of the week if David Johnson doesn't go. I think Chase Edmonds is going to be on everybody's who knows what they're doing in fantasy's roster if David Johnson doesn't play. Remember that, Chase Edmonds. Another good value I like down here is going to be Joe Mixon. I think he's got Baltimore has looked really bad against the run, and since he's starting to give him the ball a little bit, he's also involved in the pass game. So I think if you're looking for another cheap option at 5,500, he's a fair play. Ronald Jones is another guy worth taking a look at, as is Adrian Peterson. Adrian Peterson, another huge value this week, as I think with the coaching change in Washington should bode well for him. So those are going to be my favorite running backs of the week. I don't really like a lot of the expensive running backs this week other than Kamara, and he's a little expensive. So we'll be seeing a lot of Edmonds and probably Adrian Peterson. I'll probably take a flyer on Peterson in a few lineups just because I do think the new coaching staff is going to give him the rock. Moving on to wide receivers, as you can see, I'm playing Gallup, Chark, and Golden Tate, who are all very cheap. Golden Tate does go tonight. He is literally the only option the Giants have this week. Everybody else is out. So I can't help but think that Golden Tate at 4,700 is a very good value. I'm not going all in on him on my Thursday lineups. I only play a few Thursday through Monday lineups. But Golden Tate should be seeing some volume tonight, so I definitely think he's a cheaper value play. The other two guys on my lineup right here, I'm also a huge fan of this week. Gallup. Dude had 14 targets last week. 14, 8, and 7 are his last 3 weeks. He's obviously one of Prescott's favorite targets. In a game that I think Dallas, might lean on Zeke a little bit, but the Jets' defense is pretty solid in certain areas, and I do think they're going to cover number ones a little better, so Cooper is a little more downside. Elliott obviously is going to be a good play, but he's a very expensive play as well. Gallup for 5,600 just feels like a steal, as does DJ Chark for 5,500. DJ Chark is very quickly becoming Gardner Minshew's favorite target. He got 11 targets this past week. He's playing against New Orleans, and he'll be squaring off against Lattimore. Lattimore is either really good or really bad week to week, so you never kind of know what you're going to get. New Orleans defense has been stepping up, so we don't really know what we're going to see there. But also worth noting, DJ Chark is an LSU boy. So he's coming home. He's playing, against his, or he's not. They're not playing New Orleans. They're in Jacksonville, but he's playing against probably his team he grew up against, and that motivates some guys. So I could definitely see DJ Chark having a very good game based on his 5,500 salary. I'm not a real big fan of any, Patriots, man. You just never know who Bill Belichick has on his fantasy team week to week. So you just don't know who the Patriots are going to give work to. Patriots are going to demolish the Giants tonight. But for some reason, I think it's going to be like a Rex Burkhead kind of day or some stuff like that. So you just never know who's going to get it. Obviously, I think Edelman's maybe their safest offensive play, and Brady, obviously. But for their price tags of 6,900, I can't get behind Edelman at 6,900. I think that's a little too expensive for him. Obviously, I've covered all. I think Fitzgerald's a good play this week against Atlanta. Wow, Smith-Schuster fell so far. And I've kind of highlighted all the guys I really like that are low priced. Curtis Samuel at 4,700, I think is reasonable. And you could always take a flyer on Devontae Parker at 4,200. He is Devontae. I mean, he's at least Miami's number one pass guy, though they're terrible. So I think if you're digging real deep, you could look at Parker at 4,200. So those are my wide receiver favorite plays this week. Again, I'll get into more detail with everything tomorrow. Just trying to do a little 15 to 17 minute highlight thing today. Tight ends for me this week, I'm I only like a few of them. I think Austin Hooper is going to dominate most of my lineups, so knock on wood that he has a good day. Because I've already noticed in the lineups I've put in, he's my tight end on every single one of them. So Hooper is my play for the week. He's a little more expensive than I'd like at 5,000, especially because you can get Kittle for only 5,200, and I like Kittle a lot this week too. I think he's on an upswing. I just can't but get behind Ertz, man. I don't know why. Maybe I just have something in my soul against that dude. But and he has actually a decent matchup this week, so I think Ertz is a good play. My problem with this week is all the tight ends I like are literally the 5 most expensive options. Anything below that, Greg Olson's as low as I'm going this week. He has a phenomenal matchup against Tampa Bay, who has a hard time guarding the tight end. So if you need something a little cheaper, Greg Olson at 4,200, still a little expensive for him, I think. And he's been very inconsistent the last few weeks. But I am petrified of every single tight end below that. I just cannot. I don't feel confident in anybody listed below Greg Olson this week. So buyer beware with that. I think sadly this week, tight end's going to have to be a little bit more expensive in the 42 to 5,000 range. I'm never going to spend 7,000 on Kelsey, no matter. I mean, it's a tight end and it's 7,000. You're paying like top tier receiver dollars for that, and there's just not enough deep values to get. So that's who I like at tight end this week, and defense. So because these are my Thursday through Monday lineups, I'm definitely playing the Patriots. I think I have them on all my Thursday lineup defenses. They're playing against a Giants team that has nobody. They have no Saquon. They have no Sterling Shepard. They have no Evan Ingram. They are just without any offensive playmakers. Did I mention the Patriots are currently the number one defense in the league for fantasy purposes and in reality? So for me, the Patriots, who for whatever reason are the third defense listed, which is just mind-blowing where Draftkings gets this algorithm to put them third behind Dallas and behind Baltimore. Baltimore, who has just been getting gashed by everybody, and Dallas, who has not been that impressive either. I get it. They're playing the Jets and the Bengals, who are terrible. But the Giants are arguably worse this week. They have no one. Patriots, slam dunk defense play. My defense of the week for sure. If you're looking a little bit deeper for plays, I think you can maybe go Redskins at 3,200 against Miami. Any defense playing Miami is going to be a fair play. I think you could play the Saints at 3,200 against Jacksonville. But I tend to stay with home teams. And then you can actually, I can't even believe I'm about to say this, but if you're really desperate and looking for something below 3,000, you could play the Miami Dolphins defense against Washington this week. Washington could be an absolute disaster without Gruden at the helm if they start Haskins, who is a dumpster fire waiting to happen. So I could actually see the Dolphins being okay. For me, I'm not playing too many defenses other than that. You can maybe go for the Bucks. They're only 2,500, so if you're really scraping the bottom of the barrel, trying to get as cheap a value as you can out of defense, you can go with the Bucks. So those are my quick hit Thursday. Um, it's going to be a quick video on Thursdays for fantasy purposes. Today, I got to go get ready for the Astros game because we're going to Game 5, and hopefully we can pull that out. So that's the Ultimate Fan Guy for today. Hopefully, these are at least a few highlights that if you put in a lineup for tonight's game, will help you out, as well as a little bit of insight to my favorite plays for the week. And obviously, we're going to do our Facebook write-up tomorrow and have a more in-depth video tomorrow highlighting each of the matchups, why I do and don't like each player for the week. So I want to thank you guys for stopping out to the Ultimate Fan Guy today. This has been Draftkings Week 4 highlights. Much, much love. And if you liked the video, please hit subscribe or like at the bottom. I'll see you guys around. Thanks for stopping by. Much, much love. Suckers!